Hi everyone. Today's lesson is about a very important part of speech, which is pronouns. And we're going to start today with personal pronouns, which are subject pronouns and object pronouns. These elements are very important in your daily speech. So without them, you will not be able to make a correct sentence. So let's see what this lesson is about. So the first objective of this lesson is that you will be able to differentiate between subject pronouns and object pronouns. You will not be confused between the two. You will be able to use them appropriately and correctly in a correct sentence, and you will be able to write your own sentences using object and subject pronouns appropriately. First activity, let's try to do this together. So here we have some sentences. Let's try to find what is the subject of the sentence, what is the verb, what is the object, and how can we transform the the nouns of the sentences into pronouns. So we have the first sentence: Tom likes ice cream. So as you see, Tom here is the subject of the sentence, likes is the verb, and what does he like? He likes ice cream. So ice cream is the object of the verb. So if we want to change Tom into a pronoun, it should be he, right? So he is for the third person singular, masculine, Tom. Ice cream is something, is a thing. We use it for object pronoun. So he likes it. Tom likes ice cream. He likes it. So it here refers to ice cream. Okay. We will see more examples and you will know why we put it here and he here. So look at Gary and Jason. So Gary and Jason, we want to change this or these nouns into a pronoun. So it should be look at them, right? They are angry. So them is an object pronoun. We will see later why. Look at this next sentence. The children are playing with their toys. The children, so we want to change the children into a subject pronoun. What do you think? Right, they. So they play with their toys. Their toys is an object of the verb. So for object pronoun, it should be them. So they play with them. Nick can fly the kite. So Nick becomes he because it's person masculine, third person masculine, and it's singular. Can fly the kite. The kite is an object. It's an object and it's something singular. So it. So he can fly it. Next, so here is the picture of the kite. The last one, these presents are for me and you. So it's for me. I am here, me, and you they are object. These are object of the sentence. So these presents are for us. Sophie gives a present to Karima. She gives a present to, so Karima is an object of the sentence. It would be her and not she. She is the subject. Sophie, she. So her is the object. Can you help with my homework, Ahmed? What do you think? Can you help? Right, me. Ben, can you sing with me? Salim and Kautar can climb the tree. So Salim and Kautar is the subject. The subject pronoun is they, and the tree is the object. The object pronoun is it. So in this activity, we're going to draw a line matching each subject pronoun with the correct object pronoun. So subject pronoun, as we say in Arabic, the subject here, or al-fa'il, we change it with the subject pronoun ضمير الفاعل, and with the correct object pronoun, the object pronoun is the object is المفعول به. So here ضمير المفعول به, the object pronoun. So I, for example, the subject pronoun is I. For the object pronoun, it should be right, me. So you pause the video and you do the same thing for the other pronouns. So you, it doesn't change, you. She, her. He or we, us. He, him. It, they, them. It doesn't change, it. Good. Now let's deduce the rule from the examples that we have seen. So a subject pronoun is used as the subject of a sentence in place of a person's or thing's name or description, particularly after the subject has already been introduced. So we already introduced the subject in the sentence. We know the subject, if it's Ahmed or Karima, or it's the ball, or it's the students or the children. And then after that, we introduce the change or replace the name or the noun or the animal with the subject pronoun in order to avoid repetition. So just to keep this in mind, the subject of a sentence is the person or thing doing or performing or controlling the action of the verb. It's the doer of the verb. Okay, this is the subject of a sentence. So look at Gary and Jason. So here, the second sentence, Gary and Jason are the subjects of the verb. They are angry. Okay, the second example, I like philosophy. So in the second sentence, philosophy is the subject. It is my favorite school subject. So philosophy is something, we put it. It's a thing. It's not a person. We use it. But here we have Jason and Gary. They are two people. When we have two people or more, we use they. So for the object pronoun, it is used in place of a person or thing that is acted upon or receives the action of the verb in a sentence. Okay? So here it's not the doer, it's the receiver of the action. Just keep this in mind again. The object of a sentence is the person or thing that receives the action of the verb. Okay? For example, Sophie gives a present to whom? To Karima. So Karima is the receiver. And here we have also a present as a receiver. It's also an object. This is another lesson. We're going to see this later. So now you focus on the object pronoun and the subject pronoun. She gives a present to her, as we said. The second example, Salim and Kautar can climb the tree. So Salim and Kautar can climb what? What can they climb? They can climb the tree. So Salim and Kautar can climb it. If you want to replace the tree with an object pronoun, it should be it. So don't forget this rule that personal pronouns have subject and object forms. So the subject forms are, remember and memorize them, I, we, he, she, it, you, and they. And the object pronoun or the object forms are me, us, him, her, it, you, and them. So subject forms, nominative case, are used when the pronoun is the subject of the verb. And object forms or objective case are used when the pronoun is the object of the verb. And note that the pronouns it and you, as I said earlier, they don't change. They have the same form in the nominative and the objective case. But I becomes me, we becomes us, he becomes him, she becomes her, and they becomes them. But it and you, it doesn't change. It's very easy. Subject question. How do we ask subject questions? How do we know it's subject pronoun or the subject of the sentence? This is what we're going to see now. So here, who likes ice cream? So we have here in this picture, someone likes ice cream. Who likes ice cream? Jack likes ice cream. So if you notice here, we ask for subject questions. We ask who plus the verb that we have. If it's present, we use likes. If it's past, we use liked, for example. It doesn't change. We don't add any auxiliary. We don't say who does like ice cream, okay? We will see this later, so just not focus now on the subject question. We ask who. So who likes ice cream? Jack likes ice cream. So Jack is the subject of the verb, or is the subject of the sentence. Next sentence, my sister writes short stories. My sister writes short stories. Who writes short stories? It's my sister. So my sister is the subject of the sentence. My sister writes short stories. So what do you see in the picture here? Yes, it's a girl touching a cow in a yard. So who keeps a cow in the yard? Mary keeps a cow in the yard. So Mary is the subject. Okay, let's move to the object question. How do we ask object questions? What does Jack like? What does he like? Jack likes ice cream. So it's not as the subject. We don't say what Jack likes, like the subject. We don't put the verb directly after the subject. No, we should have an auxiliary. What does, then the subject? What does Jack like? So Jack likes ice cream. Ice cream is the object of the verb. What do my sisters write? What do? So here we have do because we have my sisters as a subject, it's plural, but does, we have Jack singular, we use does. Again, it's another lesson. Now focus on the question, what? My sister writes short stories. Mary keeps a cow in the yard. What does Mary keep in the yard? So what? What does she keep? A cow. A cow is the object. So Mary keeps a cow in the yard. Good. So just to make sure that we understood here, so subject pronouns for singular, we have singular and plural. Let's see the singular part. So when the first person is speaking, I am speaking, أنا اللي كنهضر, I. So the subject pronoun is I. When you are being spoken to, so شي حد كيهضر معاك انت. Yes, it's you. And when something or the third person singular, something or someone is being spoken about, شي حد ولا شي حاجة كتهضر عليها. It's غائب. It's right. He for a boy, masculine, she for a girl or feminine, and it for a thing or an animal, singular, of course. For subject pronouns, plural, so when the first person is speaking, when you include yourself with someone else, like for example, say Ahmed and I, if there is and I, that's plural. Subject pronoun plural. For first person speaking, it's we, نحن. The second being spoken to, and it's plural, it's the same for singular, it's you. And the third person being spoken about, which is plural, الغائب الجمع, when you have more than two people, two people or more, or two animals and more, or two things and more, it's they. Okay, let's see object pronouns. For singular, first speaking, it's me, right? Second, being spoken to, what is it? We said it doesn't change. Right, it's you. For third person being spoken about, him, her, it, right? So you pause the video until you complete the table to make sure that you still remember the pronouns correctly. First speaking as, second you, and third them. So them here we use it for people, animals, and for things. So let's practice now. The first activity, let's complete each sentence with the appropriate object pronoun. So here we have a noun or nouns, and you need to change these nouns with, or this noun if you have one, with an object pronoun. For example, the waiter brought out 3 plates of food, as you see in this picture, 3 plates of food. So that's the waiter. For whom? For Joe, Scott, and Bob. So if we want to change Joe, Scott, and Bob into an object pronoun, what do you think? Okay, pause the video and think if you still have more, if you still need more time to think, and then play it again. And if you answered them, your answer would be correct. Did you? Good. Okay, let's do the other sentences. And as I said, pause the video until you make sure you did the exercise correct. My brother and I wrote thank you letters to her. So here's the thank you letter. And the science teacher gave a bottle rocket to Nick and I. So here is the bottle rocket for science experiment. Nick and I, it becomes us. Good. The mechanic from the garage went to work on the neighbor's car. So the neighbor's car becomes it. Right. And this is the mechanic from the garage, as you see in the picture. Okay, as you see in the picture here, you have presents or gifts. So my parents bought a beautiful gift for, or beautiful gifts if it's plural, for Jenny and Fatima. So for them. I carried in the bags of groceries to help her, or the lady. So these are the bags of groceries. Adam carefully painted a special portrait of Adam's grandfather. So as you see in the picture, this is the portrait of Adam's grandfather. Okay. Next, now we're going to change the nouns or with an appropriate subject pronoun. So here, Joe, Scott, and Bob, it's not the object of the sentence, it's the subject. So Joe, Scott, and Bob went hiking on the mountain together. So here they are hiking on the mountain, as you see in the picture. So Joe, Scott, and Bob becomes they. So what do you see in the picture? Pause the video and tell me what you see. Right. So someone here is like he's scared and he was eating popcorn. Usually when you eat popcorn and he's holding a remote controller, so he's watching TV. Maybe he's watching a scary movie. Do you think it's romantic? No. Of course it's scary. He looks scared. So my Uncle James likes to watch scary movies on television. So my uncle here becomes he. So next picture, what do you see? Okay, so that's a restaurant. So Nick and I have a favorite restaurant in town. Nick and I becomes we. The neighbor's car has a very noisy engine. So this car is very noisy. It gives me a headache. So the neighbor's car becomes it. We are talking about a car, about something. Next. Jenny and James wore heavy coats to school because it's raining. So Jenny and James becomes they. Next, the little lady or the little old lady walks very slowly with a cane. So here in the picture, as you see, the old little lady is walking very slowly. She's using a cane and she's walking very slowly. She, so the little old lady becomes she. Next sentence, Adam's grandfather retired from the US Army 4 years ago. So this is Adam's grandfather, and he's a retired man. So he's looking here at the picture as his medals. So it becomes he. The blue notebook contains all the notes from science class. So this is the notebook. In the picture it's a black or green, I think it's a black, but here in the sentence it's the blue notebook. So it contains all the notebooks from science class. The blue notebook becomes 8. Good. Now the next activity is different, so you have to choose the pronoun which is between brackets. Like the first one, we have he and him. You should know if it's should be a subject or object pronoun. It depends on the sentence. So usually if the sentence needs a subject, you should use the subject pronoun, but if the sentence needs an object, you should use the object pronoun. Let's see the example. First one. So something blank has studied Kung Fu for years. So do you think we should start the sentence with him or with he? Right, it's he. We need a subject here. So he has studied Kung Fu for years. Now we should see if this pronoun is object pronoun or subject pronoun. You write it down. It's subject pronoun, as we said. The second sentence, the history of the martial arts is interesting to whom? Right, it's to him. So it is an object pronoun. So you pause the video and you do the next sentences. We know about many great warriors. It's subject pronoun. Her people had a nickname for her. When her town was attacked by bandits, no one would fight them. Right? Subject pronoun. Good. Now, next activity, complete the following sentences using an appropriate pronoun. So here you should decide which pronoun you should use again. So it took I or me. It's objects that we need, so we use object pronoun me. So it took me 20 minutes to get dressed. Next, she told he or him. Right, she told him an interesting story. So don't think we should wait for him. Me don't think or I don't think. Right, it's subject. I don't think. He's angry with both of them. She or them. Right, we need a subject. So she is angry with both of them. Do you like, right, them? Now, you need to write at least 5 sentences using a subject or an object pronoun of your choice, as in the following examples. I want to eat a banana. So the subject pronoun I. It is my favorite fruit. The subject pronoun again here is it. So subject pronouns in the first sentence. The next one, we focus on object pronoun. I enjoy eating it. So it's the banana. I enjoy eating it. And of course you have I also, which is subject pronoun. So you try to underline the subject pronoun or the object pronoun, and you say if it's object or subject pronoun after you write the sentences, as in the following example. So for additional questions, to make sure that you understood the lesson, you need to answer these questions. If you couldn't answer these questions, you need to revise again. It means that you did not understand, and you can ask me any questions, of course. So what does a subject pronoun replace? What does an object pronoun replace? Say 5 subject pronouns and 5 object pronouns. What's the role of an object of a sentence, and what's the role of a subject of a sentence? So you write these questions and write the answers on a piece of paper. And thank you for your attention. See you next time.